Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emerald the Quilter and I am all done updating my quilting studio. I have added some furniture, I've taken away some furniture, and I think you're gonna really enjoy seeing what I've done with the space. First, I want to bring your attention to the quilt top behind me. It is not completely done, but it is mostly done. This is a pattern called Sewing Stars by Edita Sitar of Laundry Basket Quilts, and I love the cars. This fabric collection is called Sweet Ride, and I used a fat eighth bundle and 1 yard of 4 backgrounds. So this one, so it says Zoom, a map, large florals, and then these like small floral blue motifs, and it's coming out really great. I had this purchased for like maybe 6 to 8 months already, and it's just been in a basket on the floor. My son found it recently and he took out all the fabric and it's like car. It's like, okay, let me go ahead and make it. He's ready. So he's even seen these stars, and stars are his favorite shape. So I'm excited to get this done for him. So that's the first quilt that I wanted to show you. I'm going to show you a couple other projects that I've been working on, and make sure you watch all the way to the end of the video because I want to share some progress that I've made and some quilt tops that are going to be quilted next. The newest addition to my sewing studio are 2 tables. This one and another one that I have in the room. That makes a total of 3 because I already had this one. This is where my computer goes, and it is higher than my previous table, so you can see that I lifted my chair all the way up, and then I added this, I forget what it's called. I used this when I was pregnant for my sciatic nerve pain, and it just brings me up to a good height so that my elbows don't hurt while I'm quilting. So that fixes that, and I love this table because it's actual wood and it doesn't bounce like the previous table. These are my video recording tools. So I have my camera, my lights, and then I have this other stand here that I use to take my thumbnail pictures. And my son comes up here often with me, and he likes to run around and play with his walker. Some leftover fabric from a quilt kit that I had already purchased. And you can see I have like more quilts in my bookcase. So there's a lot more here. I still kind of have the same things on the top shelf and on the top there, but it's just much more full. And what's funny is that my son is so short that he runs with the walker underneath this table. So he's just running around in circles, and he goes under the table with the walker, and it's the cutest thing. So there's that. And of course you already saw this quilt that I'm working on for him. Here is the other big improvement, and that table that I mentioned, the third one. I love this here in place of the recliner that I had because I was almost never using the recliner. I used it a lot more when I was pregnant because I would nap there and I was reading, and I just find myself quilting more than reading these days. And it makes a whole lot of sense for me to have my pattern books at eye level. So I added a longer piece of this no slip mat that I cut so that it would fit here on the stair sill. And this has never fallen off. And you see I'm wiggling it, and it's got some friction to it. This too, it's not even wiggling at all. So this has been here for like a year. I just put this here because I don't know where to put it yet. I almost never use those things, but it's so cute. It just has to stay out. So this is just really functional. And it gives me more privacy because you see the window. It's daylight right now. and there's the sidewalk, no one's ever noticed me, but I notice them when they're walking across. And so I love the privacy that I have here. And you notice that my iron board is now in between the table and the bookcase. I love this because there's enough space in between, see, that I can fold and put away the iron board right here, and then I can just stack the iron on this table. Obviously right now I'm using it a lot, so it's out. And check this out, I put myself a note for already starched fabrics, and this just makes so much more sense. Let me explain why. Because here is like one project, well, kind of, my son was playing with these and he got into a bobbin case and took out all the bobbins, so that's why these are out. But you know, this is like ready to be sewn. These are already a piece and they're organized by color, and they're just out where normally I would have tried to like balance them on my recliner. This is accessible. This is too, and it's super cute. Right here, it's like tools, right? It's like a workbench. And then this is the best part, okay? And if you've seen my other videos, I think maybe my first or second one, you know how I organize my projects in here and in here. So if you haven't seen that video yet, it's either the first or second one in this series. You're gonna wanna go check out those videos. But this is now an extension to that. Look, look, look. Ooh. And you know, my son, he hears me say ooh up here, that he's started saying ooh to fabrics now. He'll go, ooh. I'm like, yes, good job getting him excited for colors, right? So here's one project. Here's another project. I still have not fixed this. Look at that. Those are facing the wrong way. These 4 patches, they're all supposed to be on the inside. So I still have to fix this one. Here's another project. Here's another project, and in the bottom there isn't anything right now, but I love it. iPad charger right here. It's just a workbench. It's more functional, and my dog loves her bed being here more than she did when it was over there. I think she enjoyed being close to me, but I don't think she just liked that spot. This is like more cozy. Right now she's looking out the window. Hi, Bella. Hi, Bella, Bella. Hi, Bella, Bella. So she keeps me company. And of course, there is a baby gate. So I've got the baby gate. It's slid in back there, so I bring it all the way out. And I bring the baby gate whenever my son is up here with me, which is not too often yet because he's still real little. But this is awesome. In my very first video in the series, you saw this basket and it was a mountain. It was just like stacked on top. And I've gotten through a few of those projects. I'm so proud. Things actually fit in here and they're rolled up nicely. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna take them out to show you. So, but I just wanted to brag and say I got a lot done, and they fit inside the basket and nothing is on top. So that's awesome. I did not want to use my stair rail to hold projects, but I'm back to doing that. It's just these two. And then there's this wall, which I showed you in the previous video because I used a hang it dang it, but this is new right here. And this is my paternal grandmother's. I inherited this, and there is a sewing machine in here. I'm not going to take it out, but it opens. It is not refurbished. It does not work, but I love having it in here. One day I would love to have the wood refurnished. Check that out and put stuff in there. Really cool compartments. I would love to have the wood refurnished, and I would love to have the sewing machine refurbished so that I can actually use it. I've heard that these featherweight singers, they're workhorses when you maintain them, and they can even sew through very thick textiles like thin leather. So that's awesome. And everything else pretty much over here is the same. But let's just do one more look around. Oh, and then this is new up on the wall. This was a quilt, a free quilt pattern by Moda. I forgot what for. Maybe it was like National Quilting Day or something like that. And so I did that with some fig tree mini charm packs, like 1.5 of them, and I loved making that. You can actually see, I didn't even notice that in the sun, the top border is a different fabric than the other 3 borders. I did not know that when I put it together. Can you tell? Whoops, it's okay. So now you're gonna be thinking about that, right? I noticed it one morning when I came up here, but it's okay. It still looks really cute. So just one more look around the room. I think I am finally done updating my room. My sewing studio is fully functional. It just makes more sense now with the recliner out. I love it. As you know, I do enjoy a little bit of cross stitch. It says quilter's rule, but I have a cross stitch pattern in here. This is the Child pattern. So if you're into Star Wars, Mandalorian, this is Baby Yoda, or as his actual name is Grogu, and my sister bought this for me, so I've been working on it anytime I have a few minutes, and all I have left to do is this space around, which is not much left because I think it's like meant to be orange. Where's the picture? Here's the picture. So it's just like some orange, and then it says the Child at the top, and I think I'm gonna hang this in my son's room because it's really cute. So that is the only cross stitch that I've been working on recently. I normally have a couple more going on, but I've been having a hard time finding the frames for these two. So I finished these a few months ago, and I'm pretty sure, because I've gone back again to Hobby Lobby, that the frames that we're using for the other 2 from this series, they were discontinued, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. They're just gonna sit there or hang there until I figure it out, because I don't want to make them into pillows. I definitely want them hung, and I was hoping to have 4 of the same frames with these animals because they're from the same like little cross stitch collection. So I don't know how long these are just gonna stay as whips, but I'll have to figure it out later. This year's whip that I am most proud of is I think it was called Bee Sampler or Shine On Sampler by Bonnie and Camille. This one went up here very recently since I submitted my blue spruce quilt that was hanging here, and that quilt, I don't think I showed it on any of my YouTube videos, but I have shown it on Instagram. And this quilt just makes my house just super happy, a lot of positive vibes. And when my son and I are eating, so he sits here, we like point out the house, and he says house, house, and the colors. And when he walks by, he points to the heart because he's just tall enough to point to it, and he goes heart, heart, boom, 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 and it just melts my heart. So it's a really great quilt, a good conversation quilt to have with a little one. So I am very pleased with this one. This is something I'm very proud of. That Shine On Sampler quilt is just such a happy quilt. It brings a lot of joy. It fills up the room with bright colors, and it's just a great quilt to hang in that space. So here's another quilt that I have finished. Since you saw me last in this playlist, this is a granny square scrappy quilt, and this is my Scrappy September quilt from 2021. So for a few years now, I've been participating in Scrappy September with the Fat Quarter Shop on Instagram, and I was inspired to make this quilt because Lori Holt had a granny square quilt along with one of her books, and I didn't have that book, but I had so many scraps and I kind of knew how to make the block anyways, so I just picked a random size square. So I think these were like 3.5 inches, but it came out great. I had a lot of reds and pinks, and so it's all red and pink and scrappy background squares, and the back is scrappy too. So I pieced the entire back. So this one, it took me quite a while, and even though, 2 years later, late is better than never having it done. So there's this, and I wanted to show you the other quilt tops that I want to try to quilt. Now, it's already July 2023, and I somehow thought that this year I was going to be able to quilt all of them, and that's just not the case. I have been successful in not buying any more new quilt kits, so that is really good. So showing myself some grace. I found this in the closet. This is a pillowcase top, or it was supposed to be, from a long time ago, like years and years ago. So I will make this into something, and it's not even like your normal cotton. You can kind of tell it's thick. It's like Canva. So I'll make it into something. And then there is my Scrappy Pineapple quilt. This was a scrappy quilt that I made last year, and those pineapples are just facing all different directions. I had a lot of 2.5 inch squares, and so it's very busy, but I was able to use some more fabrics, and sometimes you just gotta use up your fabric. This is a lonely pineapple block that I'm probably gonna piece together to make the backing with this one. So that is my plan for that. And you have already seen my Lady Tulip quilt top. I fully intend on getting this one professionally quilted. So really, I don't even know why it's in this basket. I just need to piece the backing and then take it over to the long armors so that, and it's stunning. I haven't seen it out in a couple months, but this was a block of the month. And some of these blocks took a few hours. They really did. Let me just rotate it for you. Look at all the seams. I mean, this was like a lot of work. And the inner border on that medallion, can you see, was kind of difficult. It was actually very difficult to like meet up in these corners here. You can see that one is not even exact. Wait, right here, you see? I messed up, but I didn't know how to fix it. So I fidgeted with it a little bit and I left it the best that I could. So this is gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm gonna get this one professionally quilted. I'm just gonna set this aside. It's not gonna go back in. I'm gonna set it aside, and I am going to, by the end of the month, I'm gonna send it to the long armor. So I'm gonna set it aside so I don't forget to do that, because really that one deserves it. Now this quilt was a mystery quilt from either earlier this year or kind of late last year, I don't remember, but this is it's another quilt by Laundry Basket Quilts. I know. And I did move a few blocks around, and you can see in the center, I fussy cut the bird, and I didn't have enough of that blue fabric, so I added the brown border, and it was supposed to be just like a solid square, and I didn't want that, so I put the blue bird in the middle. And this was, I think, the very first quilt where I worked with so many strips, and so it really was the type of quilt where you did not know, what the end result was going to be, which is what she kept teasing at. And, it was a lot of fun. I loved it. And then I have this one here. This one I finished several months ago. This was also a block of the month. And this quilt, I'm debating if I want to get it professionally quilted. It was also like kind of difficult because the blocks were small, but it was not as difficult as the Lady Tulip quilt. This is a fig tree pattern and fig tree fabric. I believe this is called Sparkles and Cream. And this was a re-release, so apparently this was really popular, but I love that it is creamy and dreamy. I really love it. So this one I'm still not decided on if it's gonna get professionally quilted. I may just do that here. I'll roll that up later. Just throw this over. Now this quilt is my Scrappy September 2022. And this one is pretty big. This one I'm definitely going to quilt here at home. I don't know what I'm gonna use, but it is so fun. So fun. This is a Lori Holt pattern from her Scrappiness is Happiness that was published last year. Yeah, it was published last year, 2022. And let me bring you in closer to see this blue fabric. I don't even know what kind of fabric it is. It's kind of like it's got a feeling like it might be for a blouse. So I think it's really apparel fabric, but I love the look that it has, and it just makes it very summery. Like you could totally take this quilt for a picnic. So this one's for sure going to get quilted here at home. And this quilt has been done for a couple years now too. I think I finished it in 2020, at the end of 2021 maybe, or early 2022, but this one is big, and this is very pretty too. I don't know if I'm gonna get it professionally quilted. I know the Lady Tulip for sure, but it's Christmassy, and I've now passed 2 Christmases where I have not been able to use it because it is not done. So I gotta use it this Christmas, right? Well, I'm sure some of you are like thinking you don't want to see my whips. And I've seen some of them on like Instagram. There's some quilters out there who have like 25 quilt tops hanging on hangers in their closet. And I'm not there yet, and I'm trying not to be. This one is not done yet, so I guess I'll open it. I'll show it to you where I'm at. I just have to add 2 borders. And this one is one of my favorite quilts of all time because it uses one of my favorite fabric collections of all time. This is called, what is it called? I forgot what it's called. Something in Love? Something, I have the book here. Sew in Love. This is it. It's from the Sew in Love book by Laundry Basket Quilts. And you can see I'm missing this brown brown and red border. I have the fabric, but absolutely one of my favorite fabric collections. Little Sweetheart, Bed of Roses is also another one of my top favorites. They're older lines, but they are just beautiful. And in fact, I had emailed Andover to pretty please re-release Little Sweetheart because they had re-released the blue version of this one. That one was called something blue. And I was like, it's not fair. This is the sister to that collection. Please republish it. And and they did. So I don't know if that had anything to do with my email, but I was so excited when they did republish it. And last but not least, this one here was a labor of love. This is ... and it is so heavy I have to open it on the floor. But this quilt has been pin basted for I think over a year now. It is so heavy because this is not minky backing. This is like faux fur. But I did not purchase the pattern because I had the Pillow Talk book, and in the Pillow Talk book it has like the ... pillowcase, and I thought, I'm just gonna take those blocks and count how many blocks are in the pattern online and make the quilt. Well, this quilt ended up being much, much bigger than the called for size in the ... quilt pattern. So they're clearly not the same size, but I went with it anyways. And I'm gonna have to use my walking foot on this, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna do a straight all the way across, but it is gorgeous. I love it. It's so heavy. It's gonna stay on the floor. So there you have it. That is my update to my quilting studio, what I've been working on. Lots of beautiful quilts to quilt and display around the house. Hopefully I can at least get 1 or 2 more done before the end of the year, on top of my other quilts that I'm currently working on for my YouTube videos. So I just keep adding more projects, like we all do. So I hope you enjoyed watching my video, maybe get some inspiration for your own quilting studio or your sewing studio. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.